Hey guys, my name is Chris and welcome to the Camperdan Files. In today's video, we'll be covering a few key pieces of maintenance that will help to improve and preserve the overall performance of your personal R50 Pathfinder or Infiniti QX4. First up is an oil and filter change. I'm currently changing my oil every 3,000 miles with full synthetic. Went ahead and added the oil to the crankcase there. We checked the dipstick. It is a little high. However, we expect the oil filter to consume a little bit of this oil. So we're gonna go ahead and start the truck up running for a few seconds and then recheck it after 5 minutes. Initially, but after running the truck for a few moments and letting the oil filter receive some of that oil, we're right where we need to be, so we don't need to add any additional oil. We're just going to go ahead and cap this guy off. So that completes this oil drain procedure. Now we're going to go ahead and change the air filter, but before we do that, we're also going to go ahead and clean Mr. Throttle body here, because we haven't done that since we've acquired the truck, and it's just a good thing to do every now and again just to keep things happy. Let's go ahead and dig into that now. We're in full view of our throttle body, and as you guys can see, this guy needs some attention. So we're gonna go ahead and give that a little cleaning there. Here we have a can of some Skrxlla throttle body cleaner. Ugh. Yeah. Man, I'm so glad I'm doing this. It's so gunky in there. Oh my goodness. This is gonna help to improve our fuel economy, acceleration, and also the idle on our R50, because as we all know, a dirty throttle body can throw things off quite a bit. Hope I'm not blocking your view there, guys. If I am, I apologize. I want to put on a good show for you guys, but I also want to get this clean. Let me get my screwdriver here. So yeah, this throttle body is looking a whole lot better now, guys, versus what it looked like when we first opened things up. I'd say we're doing this thing a great deal of justice. And then take our screwdriver out, let that close again. I still see a little bit of gunk. We're not gonna get 100% of it, but I'd like to get as much of it as possible. But yeah, the CRC throttle body cleaner, pretty good stuff. And again, even if you don't get it all clean in one pass, that's fine. Just revisit this again in a few thousand miles. I meant to do this a year ago when I first acquired my R50, but I ran into a problem concerning my mass airflow sensor. And I'll share that issue with you guys here in a second. Let me just finish cleaning up this throttle body. Good deal. There. So the top Allen screw here that's on this mass airflow sensor, sadly it's been rounded off due to rust. So I can't get a tool to grab that correctly to get it out. So what I'm gonna do is actually take this side of the ductwork off of our air filter box. There's 4 10mm bolts that hold things in place. I'm gonna go ahead and take those out so I can get that housing off so I can clean that mass airflow sensor. Stand by. I don't know if you guys can see that, but it's definitely been dirt in here. So we're gonna go ahead and clean this guy as best as we can. So in this case, because of what we're dealing with, we're just gonna clean the entire thing. Now, one of the main things that you want to pay attention to when doing this is to remember to give it ample time to dry out. You don't want to plug this thing back in and it's not dry, because you could have issues. Make sure it's dry before you plug it back in. What I recommend is letting it sit here, top of the engine, I would say for at least the next 15-20 minutes, and then put everything back together, just to avoid issues. Taking out our air filter here. You can still see the light through this air filter. It's been in here for approximately 12,000 miles, so we're gonna go ahead and change this guy out. And in this case, we're gonna be replacing it with the exact same part. It's gonna be your Fram Ultra part number 4309. It says here that this is good for 40,000 miles, but personally, I like to change my air filters at least once a year, or whenever I can, pretty much. So I bought this filter at Walmart today for about $6. So now that we have that all inserted to our air filter tray, I'm gonna go ahead and slide that back into the air filter housing. Push down, make sure it's seated, and snap it in. And the rest is history. Next, we're gonna change our cabin air filter. And this too is very important, especially now that it's hot. You want to be nice and cool in your R50. You need to have clean cabin air filters. Most people don't change these ever, simply because either they don't know where they are or they just think it's too big of a job. It's quite simple, so stick around, I'll show you how. our cabin air filter. Now, as many of you probably know by now, I live in the desert Southwest. One of the things that we get quite frequently here in Nevada are haboobs, or what many of us would refer to as a dust storm. Hey, camper Dan, you gonna need a new air filter after this. So this affects both the engine air filter and the cabin air filter alike. And if you're like me, you don't want to be breathing in a bunch of dust. So this is definitely a maintenance item that you want to check on routinely and replace. This is all going to aid you in staying cool in the summertime. Let's go ahead and dig in. For this, you're going to want a Phillips head screwdriver. Once we got all of our junk removed from our glove box, I'm going to go ahead and start taking things apart, starting with this screw. All right, so now that we've removed all of those fasteners, now we can get to the meats of the situation. So here is our air filter housing. So you're just gonna take your flathead screwdriver and just come in and just simply just pry that back, just like that. And make sure you keep a track of it, because you will need this later for your new one. Guess we hold it in place. Yep, there it goes. Yeah, we just hold it in place and back the bottom one out. Ooh, it's dusty. So this is the activated carbon filter. Sadly, this time I wasn't able to get a carbon activated replacement filter. Yeah, this one has quite a bit of dirt in it and debris, as you guys can see. So this is the bottom filter. This is the top one. Pretty much identical. You know, you have a couple of like particulates, maybe like leaves or twigs. So this, actually see the evaporator core right there. Those are gonna be the coils on the actual evaporator core, but this is what I'm talking about. Leaves do get in here. I'm gonna grab my vacuum cleaner off camera and try to vacuum out as much of this debris as possible. Another thing that you can do, and I hate doing this because it makes the interior so dirty afterwards, but if you guys seen what this thing looked like when I first serviced it, you would understand. But we've come such a long way, because it's way better than it was when I first had to deal with it. It was really gross in here. But one of the things that we can do is just put the truck in accessory mode and turn on the fan. The only issue with that is that it's going to blow things everywhere around the interior. But we'll do what we can. But let's try and vacuum this area out first. Yeah, so you just want to lock these together, top and bottom, and then shove them in, like so. All we're gonna do now is just clasp this guy on the bottom, and then just push it right up, just like so. And that secures things. Now give us hopefully some super clean air filtration here for the next 12,000 miles. And now we're gonna put everything back together. All right, done. All right, guys, that's gonna do it for today's video. Thanks again for stopping by the Camper Dan Files. My name is Chris. If you found this video helpful, go ahead and give it a like. And while you're at it, don't forget to share, comment, and subscribe. And until next time, keep using your Pathfinder as a Pathfinder, on or off the pavement.